up, Taiwan Tzu Chi volunteers help care recipients in Keelung and Hualien clean up their homes. We meet Inda Duwifar Reed, who overcomes the loss of her beloved son to walk the Tzu Chi path. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Helen Liao. Thank you for joining us. In Hualien County, Taiwan, Tzu Chi volunteers travel to Xinchen Township to help care recipient Mr. Liu clean up his cluttered home and give his house a makeover. But first, we go to Keelung, where trainees participating in the local Tzu Chi volunteer training seminar visited to care recipients and restore their homes to their original look. A house cluttered with recyclables and garbage is what Tzu Chi care recipient Mr. Luo calls home. After more than a year of persuasion, Mr. Luo finally agrees to have volunteers help him clean up his house. Tzu Chi volunteers form a human change to clear out garbage as they hope to give Mr. Luo a clean living environment. For many trainees at the Tzu Chi Keelung District Volunteer Training Seminar, this is an unforgettable experience.
Many of them have just started participating in the volunteer training seminar. Master Zheng Yan said that we need to start by doing charitable deeds. We need to teach them how to conduct home visitations.
As well as helping Mr. Luo clean up his home, volunteers also arrived at the home of a senior who lives with her children and great-grandchildren. Despite the humid weather and foul odor coming from their house, volunteers are determined to help.
First, I was afraid to go into the house because of the bad odor. I saw many senior Tzu Chi sisters working extremely hard to clean up the house. After hours of cleaning, I realized that I didn't smell the foul odor anymore.
To show their respect for the senior, Tzu Chi volunteers thoughtfully ask her permission before discarding anything. As this grandma's two sons are mentally challenged, they don't have the ability to look after themselves. Upon learning that the volunteers are cleaning up their house, the senior's great-grandson quickly gets up to help. Under Tzu Chi volunteers' encouragement, the senior's great-grandson cleans alongside the volunteers until the house is clean and tidy once again. Thanks to home visitations, trainees from the Tzu Chi volunteer training seminar have gained a better understanding of the phrase "giving with wisdom." Meanwhile, in Hualien County, 12 Tzu Chi volunteers are here at care recipients Mr. Liu's cluttered house to clean it up for him.
Items that can be recycled will be sent to our Tzu Chi recycling station, and garbage will be delivered to the dump site.
Mr. Liu, who suffers from health problems, lives with his daughter and older sister. Upon learning that their house is falling apart and has no septic tank, volunteers decided to help.
Thank you.
The roof is rusty. It was built some 30 years ago, so it leaks all the time.
Besides putting on a new roof and replacing the floors, Tzu Chi volunteers also build them a new washroom that is equipped with handrails.
I have had many leg operations, so I can hardly bend my legs. It is great that Tzu Chi built this new washroom for us. I am truly grateful.
Thanks to Tzu Chi volunteers' dedication, the Liu family has a safer place to call home. The Armed Forces of the Philippines recently paid a visit to the Jingsi Hall in Quezon City to learn more about Tzu Chi Foundation's history and missions. Inspired by all the work Tzu Chi has done both domestically and abroad, Major General Lysander Sweatit expressed his admiration for the Buddhist NGO and hopes to join forces with Tzu Chi to better serve the people of the Philippines.
Today, the Jingsi Hall in Quezon City is hosting some very important guests, the military officers of the Armed Forces of the Philippines. Accompanied by Tzu Chi Philippines Chapter Director Alfredo Lee, AFP officers' understanding of Tzu Chi Foundation's humble beginnings and missions deepened as they visit the Jingsi Hall and recycling station.
When they visited our Tzu Chi grounds, our eye and dental clinic, and our organic vegetable garden, they were extremely moved.
Masaya ako dahil nagkaroon ako ng
I'm happy because I had the chance to know more about the efforts of Tzu Chi. I'm so excited to work with Tzu Chi in the future.
I'm so excited to work.
As the nation constantly faced the wrath of natural disasters, both the AFP and Tzu Chi agree that only by combining efforts and strength can they better serve all citizens.
Napakarami pala.
It is a good experience for me to get to know an organization that has the capacity to help those who are truly in need. Having Tzu Chi as our partner, now I know we can provide better assistance to our citizens.
Na mabilis namin lapitan.
By drawing on each other's strengths and abilities, the sum of the whole is greater than its parts.
In October of last year, a 7.2 magnitude earthquake struck Bohol Island in the Philippines, damaging countless school buildings. Since then, Tzu Chi volunteers have been working around the clock to build prefab classrooms for students to use. Recently, Tzu Chi handed over 150 prefabricated classrooms to 16 schools, among which is the Katibian National High School.
8 months after the earthquake, Tzu Chi's prefab classrooms for Katibian National High School are ready to use. A handover ceremony is held to celebrate the occasion. Paved with interlocking bricks, the new classrooms impress visitors with their tidiness. Instead of laying the foundation of the classrooms with cement, the construction team used bamboo-molded interlocking bricks to pave the foundation for the building. Local officials and residents came together to help with the building, including this octogenarian.
My son couldn't come to help because he has to work. I was here because I wanted to help. Why did I come to help even though I don't have any children studying here? Because I wanted to, with my whole heart.
I am very touched by the contribution of the volunteers and residents. Although the residents live in hardship, they were still willing to help with the building because they love the students and this school.
Showing their support to Tzu Chi's charity missions, college students of the Infant King Academy make the most of their holiday by attending Tzu Chi's sign language class. To get involved with these youngsters, Tzu Chi brothers who rarely perform sign language also joined in the class.
One day you'll be proud.
Inspired by Tzu Chi's love and compassion, 5,000 students, teachers, and parents of the Infant King Academy vowed to join Tzu Chi volunteers' ranks.
This struck me most only with great love and compassion. An act of giving with great love and compassion can easily rebuild the damage of the disaster.
In the past 8 years, the volunteers of a recycling point located on Changchun Road in Taipei's Zhongshan district have been doing their part to protect the planet. They gather every Wednesday in front of a pharmacy to sort recyclables and light up the neighborhood with their passions as well as their spirit.
Among the bustling Changchun Road of Taipei, a group of extraordinary people gathers in front of an ordinary pharmacy. For the past 8 years, every Wednesday at 6 p.m., volunteers gather here to sort recyclables. For Yo Chun Mei, finding a suitable venue was not easy.
8 years ago, when we set out to establish a recycling point, we sorted recyclables underneath a dark bridge. On the third time in port,
Sister Chun Mei was really adamant about finding a good place to sort recyclables, but couldn't find one. Eventually, she came to our shop.
From the owner of the pharmacy to those volunteering their time to sort the recyclables, everyone in Kanglo Borough is doing their part for Mother Earth.
Kanglo Borough is very clean and orderly now. I want to thank all the volunteers who have all these years done so much to clean up the community.
Helping to turn recyclables into gold, the volunteers' passion continued to light up the Ganglo Borough recycling point.
For the past 14 years, a group of Tzu Chi volunteers in Taichung's Beitun district has gathered and met at the local retreat, no bigger than approximately 83 square meters. Although suitable for morning Dharma study session, the small quarter could not host larger events. When the volunteer was building a new house, she especially set aside the basement up to the second floor of her 5-story building to be used as a local retreat.
It's 4 in the morning and the sun has yet to rise, but Tzu Chi volunteer Lu Shunqing has already arrived at the local retreat. The local retreat here in Taichung's Beitun district is not very big, but it draws the most determined individuals, like Liu Xiufeng, who arrives each morning to absorb the Dharma.
I'm still in training right now. There's so much that I don't understand. If I don't follow along with the Master's Dharma each day, I feel like I'm not up to speed with everyone.
This old venue will shut down for the last time after this morning's Dharma session. As the gate closes one last time, volunteers bid farewell to their old friend of 14 years.
Of course, we will miss this small wooden house, but all good things must come to an end. Thankfully, though, we are heading to another place where we will have more space so that more people can come join our family.
The next day, everyone gathers at the spacious house of Zhen Xiuyun. Zhen has donated the basement, first and second floor of her 5-story building as the new location of the local retreat.
Since I'd had this property available after we built our home on it, we thought that donating a part of the house would enable it to be used to the maximums.
Zhen says that before construction began, they had already designed a portion of the building to be used as a local retreat because they wanted the place to be a bodhisattva cultivation ground and serve as a spiritual home for local residents and volunteers.
In Indonesia, a mother who lost her beloved son has been transformed because of DaAi TV. She identified Tzu Chi's founder, Master Zhen Yan, to be her life's model and decided to dedicate herself to charity. Here's the story of Inda Dewi Farid.
Inda Dewi Farid of Indonesia is a devoted Muslim, but also a heartbroken mother. Back in 2005, when her son, who was a helicopter pilot in the country's air force, went missing during a mission, his remains weren't found until 2 years later. In the face of life's impermanence, Inda searched for answers by studying the Quran.
After studying the Quran for many years, I realized that people should learn to seize the moment and do positive work.
Through her studies, Inda's heart found peace again, and by chance, she learned about Master Zhen Yan after stumbling accidentally upon the country's DaAi TV.
The more I studied the Quran, the closer I felt to Master Zhen Yan. I have opened my heart completely and accepted the will of heaven. This is the role model I've been searching for all my life. As long as it is the right thing to do, I shall carry on.
Merely watching the TV program did not satisfy Inda's yearning to learn. She began collecting DaAi dramas and Jinsi publications. Eventually, she decided to get involved. Last year, Inda became a community volunteer and motivated her husband to make a monthly contribution of about $17 to support Tzu Chi's TV station.
When your heart wants to do good deeds, you have to take action because compassion can't wait. We must follow after Master Zhen Yan and set an example for others. Every penny of our donations should be properly used.
Having lost her beloved son, Inda is now sharing the love for her son with the rest of the world.
Approximately 40 kilometers outside of Yangon, Myanmar, is a small village called South Dagon. The volunteers' affinity with this village started because of Shin Yo-ang, a young girl with a congenital heart defect. Concerned for her health, volunteers brought the girl nutritional food as well as a purifier to cleanse her drinking water. Unfortunately, on July 10th, Tzu Chi volunteers got word that the girl had passed away because of a brain disease.
Do you remember Shin Yo-ang, a girl who was born with a congenital heart defect in South Dagon village in Myanmar?
Her fingers are purple, you can see it.
Back then, Shin Yo-ang's condition tugged at the heartstrings of Tzu Chi volunteers, so they brought the young girl nutritional food and a water purifier system to ease her ailments. Her village also became the first village in Myanmar in which volunteers commenced long-term care. Volunteers taught locals how to plant their own vegetables and helped repair roofs, as well as help pave a road through the village. Under the continuous care of Tzu Chi volunteers, South Dagon village and Shin Yo-ang improved year after year.
Every time we visited, she would greet us with a big smile. When we held aid distributions, she would also help out wherever she could.
In 2011, Shin Yo-ang refused to take any more financial subsidies from Tzu Chi. Instead, she took to making daily donations for her bamboo coin bank and joined in Tzu Chi activities.
She is a very good girl and very smart. She often participates in our care recipient exchanges. She has fully embraced Tzu Chi spirit.
Recently, volunteers got word that Shin Yo-ang had passed away from a brain disease at the age of 16. Not only was her mother distraught, but the volunteers who had seen her grow up all these years were also emotional. Though sickness plagued Shin Yo-ang's life, her life, however, was filled with much love and care.
Moving to Malacca, Malaysia, we meet Tzu Chi care recipient Zheng Lai Di, who suffered from different types of cancer and diabetes. Facing her illness, Zheng once thought of ending her life. Thankfully, Tzu Chi volunteers walked into her life and even installed DaAi TV for her. Inspired by the Buddhist NGO's philosophy, Zheng decided to register as an organ donor.
I need to eat 8 of these in the morning.
Always wearing a smile is Tzu Chi care recipient Zheng Lai Di, who suffers from breast cancer, cervical cancer, liver cancer, bone cancer, and diabetes.
If I don't eat it, I won't be able to walk later because the pain will be unbearable.
Living with her cancer for more than 10 years without a stable income left Zheng Lai Di with depression. In 2006, Malacca Tzu Chi volunteers walked into her life and gave her hope.
She had strong suicidal thoughts when she discovered that her cancer had spread to her liver. I was very worried, so I quickly came over to accompany her.
To make sure Zheng remained hopeful, Tzu Chi volunteers installed DaAi TV at her home as they couldn't be there for her 24 hours a day.
Today, I will feel at ease. Maybe tomorrow, I will be extremely depressed. I'll watch DaAi TV when I feel down. I will also copy down Jingsi aphorisms to make myself feel better. I think it is great.
As a loyal viewer of DaAi TV for some 6 years, Zheng made a decision.
She saw many medical cases on DaAi TV, so she decided to register as an organ donor.
I told them that they don't know the pain cancer patients go through. I am a cancer patient, so I know. I don't want others to suffer the pain that I endure. I want to donate my body to medical science.
Despite the pain and suffering she endures every day, Zheng promised to face her illness with a positive attitude and hopes that one day her body can benefit others. In Malaysia's Penang, Tzu Chi volunteers recently organized a free health checkup for residents of Hong Sing Estate, which is a suburb near Georgetown. Showing their support to Tzu Chi's act of love, one landlord provided his parking lot for Tima's use, while community members also mobilized to help Tima members carry out the house call service.
In Malaysia's Hong Sing Estate, a suburb of Georgetown, Tzu Chi volunteers visited households to promote the upcoming Tima health checkup. During the visitation, one volunteer fell ill because of the heat and arduous journey. Despite her discomfort, the volunteer insists on completing her mission after taking her medicine. Seeing the volunteer's dedication, the village head and 10 other local residents decide to help out. Riding a scooter, the village head goes around the community to spread the message of the event in both Chinese and Tamil. With the assistance of the villagers, Tima members are able to reach out to those patients who cannot make it to the free clinic on their own. Here, 80% of the residents live in poverty and have no access to proper healthcare services. Thanks to Tzu Chi, this centenarian can finally see a doctor. The landlord who lent the space for Tzu Chi's use feels proud to be part of the compassionate act.
It's not only me, because there's a lot of people who are parking at this space. So I also want to thank them because they also understood.
Tzu Chi volunteers also seized the opportunity to promote the auspicious 7th lunar month and encourage participants to go meatless to celebrate the occasion.
Also in Malaysia, Tzu Chi volunteers from the medical team and charity team at the Tzu Chi Klang branch came together to form the stroke support group, hoping to offer stroke patients emotional support and help them through the difficult time during rehabilitations.
The stroke support group is to give stroke patients support.
Today, Tima doctors from the Tzu Chi Kuala Lumpur and Selangor chapter are in Klang to give a seminar, and the turnout is overwhelming.
After participating in so many free clinics, I saw how most stroke patients were quick-tempered. Therefore, it is great to set up such a team to help stroke patients.
Physiotherapists can only do so much for stroke patients. Other than medical treatment and rehabilitations, the patients can also use emotional care.
If you can put your heart at ease, you can do well in rehab.
A year ago, Xiao Zhiping suffered work pressure-related stroke and couldn't speak properly. After tireless rehabilitations, Xiao has regained his mobility and speech and hopes to motivate more people like him with his own story.
As one who survived a stroke, I can truly understand how they feel. I know their misery and how hard the rehabilitation really is.
With a stroke support group, hopefully stroke patients will find the strength to get back on their feet.
We stay in Malaysia at the end of the show. Photographer Liu Zhengyang held a charity photography exhibition to remind members of the public to protect our Mother Earth. The proceeds from the exhibitions were donated to the Tzu Chi Malaysia chapter. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you for watching DaAi Headlines. Goodbye.